guys. I'm Raquel.
I'm Daniel.
And this is our Button English Podclass.
Yay! Another one.
Yes, another one. Today we're going to talk about something that's going to be kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Pet peeves.
Okay, but what are pet peeves?
What are pet peeves? Pet peeves are those little things that other people do that drive you crazy. Basically.
Yeah. I remember the first pet peeve that I realized I had. This is when I was in school. I was a kid. And one of my best friends, he had those traditional yellow pencils. And he had the little eraser on the other end, right? And he would use that eraser until it became like a stump. Until it was useless and the pencil was rendered horrible. And I realized that I hated people who used that eraser. I know it's convenient, it's there for that reason, but why don't you get an eraser if you're going to use an eraser so often and leave that beautiful pink thing alone? Anyway, I never said anything to anyone about this, but then later in life I realized, yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to talk about today. So
Can I break your heart?
You're one of those, aren't you?
I was one of those.
Oh, God.
I
Why?
used the
Why?
eraser.
Fine. No, I'm totally over that one. This is the oldest one I could remember when I was thinking about, doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay, I forgive you. That's fine. As long as you don't do it again. I'm sure you will.
I don't have any pencils anymore, so I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, so why don't you start sharing some of yours or one or two of your pet peeves so these good people get to know you a little bit better.
Yeesh. Poor people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will talk about one that I acquired culturally, which is not one, it's actually several, but it's in the same sphere. So everybody should know by now, because you all went back and watched my podcast and my live, that I lived in New York for a long time. And when you move to New York and you live there for a while, you begin to learn certain things. There are rules that are unspoken, but very important to life, to make sure that things flow and work. And so I began to learn, understand, and appreciate these rules. And then my pet peeve was when people did not follow the rules, and it drove me crazy. So what rules am I talking about? Okay. On the street, for example, people are busy. We're trying to get places. We walk fast. Okay? So pet peeve number 1, where groups of people who take up the entire sidewalk. So there's no way to get around them.
I hear you. Yep.
Pet peeve number 2, people who are in a tightly packed space and walk extremely slowly. Pet peeve number 3, people who are walking and then suddenly stop to look at something. They don't step to the side. No, they just stop in the middle of the sidewalk, so you almost run into them, because of course you're not going to expect someone to stop out of nowhere.
What about the map tourist?
Again, doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me as long as you step to the side and let people pass.
Those usually don't.
Number 4, on escalators, you stay to the right so that people who want to walk up the escalator to get there faster have room. Yeah, not in the middle, to the right. Number 5, On the subway.
Easy going, huh?
These are rules. Talk to New Yorkers. Most of us have these same pet peeves. On the subway, when you're waiting to get onto a train car, you do not stand in the middle where the doors open. You stand to the side so that people can get off the subway car so that there's space to get onto the subway car. I hate people who are in the middle.
She's been here for 7 years.
It's
still gets a rise out of her.
Yes, it still drives me crazy, especially the subway one, because then you have no choice. Like, and I tried to avoid it for many, 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 many years, and then it was like there's no avoiding it. So then you just get off the subway and you just hit the person on the shoulder because you're like, sorry, you're in my way. I need to get off the train. I'm not gonna go. I don't want to get stuck on a train to go to a place I'm not going. So, listen, dude. Sorry. Get out of my way. Learn the rules. That's how it works. Anyway,
I think this is a good opportunity.
Pet peeve.
Good opportunity for you to explain the expression I used. Get a rise out of.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Ah, when something gets a rise out of you, it's like something that really frustrates you or gets you angry. You get a rise out of someone.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a person that gets a rise out of you.
Sometimes it's a list of things.
Rules. They're rules.
All right.
If it's tourists, I'm a little more forgiving, right? If they're obviously tourists, not from the city, then it's like you roll your eyes a little bit, but you're like, oh my gosh, so clueless. But it's like harmless. Now, when it's people who live in the city, there's no excuse. That's when I get angry.
All right. So, shall I share some of the ones that I don't really have?
Well, I just exposed myself, and that people must be thinking, wow, what an unlikable person. So you please help me out here.
Well, I'm sure everybody has their own pet peeves, right?
Yes.
I remember a time when pet peeves used to irritate me more. Now it's a little different. Now, I don't know. I just don't have any one thing that really gets under my skin. But I did make...
That's not true.
Not true?
No. That's
Really?
not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be better. I'm better too. But yeah, there's plenty that gets under your skin.
Okay.
Oh, get under your skin. Go.
Get under my skin?
Like the expression. How would you explain that?
Wow. It's kind of similar to get a rise out of you, though. It's like along the same lines of that one. I don't know. It's something that you were affected by. Something that... How do you...
But it doesn't necessarily have to be negative, although it often is. I mean, how do you explain the Sinatra song?
Something that hits a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Or something that strikes your fancy. Something that pleases you, right?
Something you can't get rid of, actually.
Something you can't get rid of?
Like that feeling. It's like it causes you a feeling that you just can't get rid of, no matter how hard you try. Think about it. It's under your skin. So, like, if something's under your skin, it's like inseparable from you.
That's true.
So
I guess I never thought about what that meant.
Yeah.
Is that what it means?
Well, I'm not saying like you're wrong. I'm just saying I think that's an element of it, of this fact of like,
yeah.
That's what the song says, right? I've got you under my skin. Like, all right, now I'm screwed because there's
I can't stop thinking about you.
I can't get rid of it. So here I am. Yeah.
All right, cool. See, I learned something. All right, so I'm going to share some of mine. Although I will have to insist that they do not drive me crazy anymore. I used to really get pissed off about these things. Mm-hmm. Okay, one of them is stickers on fruit. Like, I don't know, I hated it when, for example, someone put a sticker on an apple. It was most likely the brand, right? The company, the manufacturer, or the farmer. Mm-hmm. And you just could not get rid of that thing, you know?
annoying.
That was annoying.
Yeah, but
then
see, you're
someone
starting on the small stuff. That's why he's trying to come off like he's all cool and stuff.
It might get worse. But then they invented, at least in the US, they invented a little tab that you can pull the sticker from. So that makes it easier, you know.
Yeah.
Here in Brazil, no tab. So,
No tabs.
yeah, kind of annoying. Some of the ones that she mentioned, like people who crowd the sidewalk and you can't get past them or walk super slow. 3 or more people walking side by side that don't give you, like they don't break apart to give you a way in. So you're like, you know, checkmated. Ugh, I hate that. Yes, let's get on to the juicy stuff. Let me share with you some of the ones that actually do get me pissed off.
Haha, I told you. They exist.
People who have super loud conversations on the phone in public.
Yeah, well.
That is annoying. It's like nobody wants to know about your personal life, especially if you're having like a feisty conversation, a bad one, you're fighting, you're having an argument, you're pissed off. Nobody cares. So lower your voice or text. Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah, that's annoying, but it's annoying me so much because sometimes it's rather amusing. So I enjoy.
When it's amusing, it's a different story.
Not intentionally, but like just because the person is like a character or the conversation is like bizarre, and so then I get this, enjoyment out of it. Like this is a story I get to tell my friends later. What a bizarre conversation I overheard.
I guess. Okay, so this is one that doesn't annoy me, but I don't know. It's a constant. She does it. My parents do it. My friends do it. People that I work with do it. I'm reading. I have a piece of literature in my face like this, a book open, something, whatever, a document, and the person starts talking to me as if I weren't. Like. In most cases, people don't even read, like they don't even. Oh wait, he has a book in his hands. At work, it was impossible to read until I found a corner out in the garden, the place I used to work, and then I started reading over there, and it was amazing, fantastic, because people wouldn't come in and say, "So Daniel, how are you?" And it was almost always small talk. It didn't really matter what they were saying, so I was like, ugh. Anyway, she does it in bed. But then she lets it go. Like a minute or two later, okay, you want to read? Read.
It's usually because I have a question I need answered. I'm not one to take over reading.
This is done to you too. I've seen you go like when it was done to you too.
Okay.
And it's not.
But
cool.
It's not a thing for me. But it's clearly a thing for you. So.
Yeah, it is a thing. Okay, so. Let me see.
All right, you want to see him get really, really worked up? I'm gonna let you guys in on this.
Oh, God.
All right, so we are in pandemic times.
Yes. You will make an enemy out of me.
Aha! See? Go ahead. Talk to us about how you feel about the pandemic rules and people's lack of adherence to them, so that I don't look so bad.
I'm almost breaking this pen in half with one hand. I don't have a mask here, but I'm going to try and use a prop to explain what I mean. We're never going to be friends, ever, if I see you on the street with your nose sticking out from above your mask, or worse, if your mask is like this, yeah? Don't even approach me. We will never speak, yeah? We'll never be friends. That's true. I think this is my biggest pet peeve of all. This one.
Or not wearing masks. He also freaks out.
Very pissed off.
It annoys me as well, but he gets a special kind of angry. So
yes, there have been a couple of instances where I rolled down the window and I said in a rude way, "Put on your damn mask." Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's not. Yeah, it's a huge one.
Big pet peeve.
Big one.
See? And he was trying to play it cool. Oh, I'm better. Things don't bother me so much anymore. I don't think I have any serious pet peeves. See? I'm not alone. Another one concerning sound, just like the conversation one. You know those people who you're having just a good old time at a park
or at the beach and someone parks a car with a massive set of speakers and starts
that's
blasting
Jeff.
out their own kind of music, even if it's good music, but in 99% of the cases, it's usually commercial, cheap music that you don't care for.
Right.
Yeah, that annoys me. That in any form of that, even people who use their cell phones, play music out of their cell phones on the bus or in public.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Then the next level is the Bluetooth speaker, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Bluetooth speaker gets bigger and bigger until it's a car. It's annoying. Yeah.
That's a mild pet peeve of mine. But I think the one that would probably annoy me the most is when you're hiking, like in the woods, and someone has this. I'm like, why are you hiking with a speaker? That defeats the whole purpose. Like, why are you here? If you just want to walk, you can walk anywhere. Why come here? But okay.
True.
What are you gonna do?
All right, let's talk about one that affects both of us.
We've already done that a few times.
True.
But okay.
Let's address people who have pets, dogs,
Ah, yes.
and leave behind their beloved animals' droppings.
Yeah, they don't pick up the poop. You gotta pick up the poop, people.
Yeah.
You can't leave the poop there. That's just bad for everyone, okay? Pick up the poop. That's it. That's all we ask.
Come on.
If you forgot a bag,
Everyone stepped on poop before. You
Just
know how awful it is.
find a really big leaf to pick it up. I don't know. Go ask someone to borrow a bag. Just don't leave the poop. Come on.
All right, here's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know if it's yours too, but here's a pet peeve of mine that is almost exclusively Brazilian.
Oh,
Yeah?
interesting.
Because when I traveled in the U.S. and it was mostly U.S. passengers on the airplane, this was not an issue. Or most of the times I was on a plane in the U.S., it didn't really happen very often. But here in Brazil, and when I go from here, the first stop of the airplane in the U.S., it drives me crazy. When people, and I usually sit all the way in the back of the plane because, cheap tickets, it's usually back there. The plane is still moving. You can hear it through the speakers. They're telling you, guys, we cannot get up. Keep your seatbelts fastened. And still, most people who sit on aisles will get up, start getting their bags and crowding the hallways. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
Why?
It doesn't drive me as insane as it drives you, but it bugs me too. Well, because it's just because it rationally doesn't make any sense, because they're not going to open the door any faster. It takes a while for them to dock and open the door and get things ready for you to be able to even start leaving. And then it goes from the front to the back. So you're just going to be standing there for a while. So I don't know why you don't just chill and
Exactly.
enjoy it.
I will forgive you.
Unless you have a connection or something, but then it's the airline's responsibility. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can't jump over people, so.
I will forgive you if you have a condition. If you have hemorrhoids and you really need to get up, you're forgiven. I feel your bro or sister, fine.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. All right, let's do, I'll do one. A technological related pet peeve. So, for those of you who are our loyal, adoring fans, you should know by now that my name is Raquel.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yes, and it's spelled as it is in Portuguese because my family is Portuguese. So it's Raquel. Raquel. That's my name.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So, now, when someone hears my name, I don't expect them to spell it correctly. I've dealt with this my whole life. Or if someone just sees my name, I don't expect them to pronounce it correctly either. But when I've sent you a message via email or some other messaging service, and I have clearly signed my name, Raquel. Last thing you saw, Raquel, and the first thing you write is, "Hi, Rachel," Rachel. I immediately dislike you because you didn't bother to look at my name and use it correctly. I mean, it's right there. You just copy it. I mean, I always, maybe because I've always had a slightly different name, I always make sure I spell people's names correctly, even if they're common. Like, if there are slight variations, like, whatever, Isabella, I'm like, oh, okay, wait, but does this person spell it with one L or two L's? Let me go and check. Before I click send, I always go and check and make sure I spelled it correctly, because it's the person's name. It's like, you know, your identity.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I'm respecting the person by making sure that I'm addressing them with the correct name that they use in life. I don't know, but it bugs me.
And I've seen it happen in countless situations. Situations where I was referring to her as Raquel repeatedly here in Brazil. And then people who were near us, people who were interacting with us, insisted on calling her Rachel.
That's
like
true.
I was saying Raquel. When someone had a question, so Rachel. And I'm like, Jesus, weren't you listening to me? Like, I'm not calling her Raquel because now she lives in Brazil and we have to all translate her name. I'm calling her Raquel because it's her name. Worse than that.
But this is
WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, your name is there.
It's there.
It's floating right above the message.
As email, yeah.
It's worse than email because your signature in the email, okay, whatever, it was left behind. On WhatsApp and Messenger, it's right there. The person's typing a centimeter or two below your name.
Yeah, this is
How
true.
can you get... Anyway. So yeah, I get it. Big deal.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Fair.
It's just annoying. And really, you know, that's not a good way to start our relationship. Just get off to the wrong foot because then you're like... Because then you're wondering, like, why? Why do you insist on calling me the wrong name? Like, what is it?
I inherited a little one, but from my mom. But her case is grave. Like, I have seen her walk out on me, on my dad, on people who are not friends, acquaintances, because that was going on.
Serious bit.
Yeah. She knows about it because sometimes I actually bug her about this.
Oh, okay.
Loud chewers.
My goodness.
Yeah. I kind of care about it if it's happening too much.
If it's really annoying, yeah.
My mother will walk out on you. If you're eating chips or peanuts next to her, she will change her seat. I'm not even joking. She doesn't even ask you. No. She gets up and leaves. It's so funny. Sometimes we did it to piss her off, and then my sister and I. And then we realized how badly it got, like how mad she was. My mom is not one for getting mad very often, right? But she went berserk. So we stopped.
Yeah. So that's it. Those are some extensive examples of things that are considered pet peeves.
We should do a podcast about the things we love, because now these people are going to think we're haters and super stressed out and super on edge.
No, they're just pet peeves, right? This is not super... And pet peeves, by definition, it's not super serious.
No.
Like, and you know that it's not serious, but it's just things that are like, they irritate you a little
That's
bit.
true.
And you go, "Urgh," right? But it's not like you don't get really upset forever. It's just in the moment, it kind of bugs you.
Yeah.
And so that's the idea behind pet peeves. And they're always kind of fun to talk about because it's kind of funny, like the silly things that end up bugging us. Because, again, it's not serious. So, if you liked learning about this day-to-day kind of experience in English, maybe you want to take your speaking to this level of comfort and being able to talk about simple day-to-day things with more confidence. Maybe you understand a lot of what we're saying, or with the subtitles you can put it together. But when it comes to speaking, you freeze up and it doesn't come out, or it comes out with just words, and you never have the confidence to just be able to have a 2-minute day-to-day conversation. And if that is you, if you really, really need to get a little boost into your speaking skills in English, we have an event coming up that is especially for you.
It's called Os 4 Passos que Irão Revolucionar o Seu Inglês Cotidiano.
Okay. And here we're going to talk about 4 things that you can focus on. We're going to give you tips and techniques on how to improve those things to help you feel confident and help you start to speak and start putting aside all those obstacles that are holding you back from being able to have simple conversations. It is really going to be incredible, and you can be a part of it, but you have to reserve your spot because it's not going to be a public workshop. It is something exclusive to people who sign up. So how can they sign up, Daniel?
Well, you see this address right here. You're going to go ahead right after this video or during this video, pause the video and go ahead right now and type this in your address bar in your browser. Go there and grab your invitation. It's going to be a free event. It's going to be high quality. The tools you're going to get are amazing. And if you keep them, you're going to be able to use them for the rest of your life. They're highly valuable things that we have picked up and learned how to teach them very well between Raquel and I during a couple of decades in classrooms. So it's really, really precious. I suggest that you follow this link right here. Yeah?
It's just to our page.
Exactly.
buttonenglish.com.br.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, see you there.